Many people hold the belief that God exists beyond the reach of science, logic, reason that God is a supernatural being who cannot be measured or tested by human tools. But here's a challenging question to consider. If God truly acts in our world through miracles, healing, answered prayers, or guiding events, shouldn't we be able to observe and measure these effects? Shouldn't there be clear evidence that confirms God's existence and intervention in our reality? If such evidence is missing, then how can we continue to believe without question? One of the most common defenses for why God cannot be proven scientifically is the claim that God is purely spiritual or non-physical, existing outside the natural laws that science studies. But here's the important point. While God's essence may be described as spiritual, the effects attributed to God are often physical and measurable. For example, when people say that God heals the sick, answers prayers, or performs miracles, these are events that should leave tangible evidence. Yet, rigorous scientific studies, particularly controlled experiments on the effectiveness of prayer and divine healing, consistently find no statistically significant effect beyond what would happen naturally or by placebo. The absence of such evidence means there are no divine fingerprints left on the physical world, challenging the claim that God intervenes. Another popular argument is that God exists outside of time and space, making him beyond human understanding and beyond the ability of science to test or observe. However, this claim contradicts the many religious stories and traditions that credit God with influencing real-world events, such as global floods, plagues, wars, and miraculous happenings. If God truly caused these events, there should be corresponding historical, geological, or archaeological evidence to support them. Yet after centuries of research and discovery, science has found no reliable evidence of events, like a worldwide flood covering the earth, or the mass exodus of millions of people through deserts. These stories appear to be myths and allegories, not factual history suggesting human invention rather than divine intervention. Many believers resort to the phrase God works in mysterious ways to explain the problem of suffering, injustice, and cruelty in the world. But this explanation raises a serious question. If God is all-powerful, all-knowing, and all-good, why does he allow genocides, natural disasters, and immense suffering without apparent reason or justice? If God permits such horrors without intervening or making amends, what truly distinguishes him from randomness, chaos, or sheer indifference? A deity who allows evil and suffering without explanation or relief does not fit the description of a wise or moral being. It looks more like an uncaring force or no force at all. Faith is often described as belief without evidence, and believers frequently say that faith alone is enough to justify their beliefs. But the problem arises when faith requires accepting claims that are easily testable and yet consistently fail scientific scrutiny. Consider extraordinary religious claims like the existence of flying horses, young Earth, only a few thousand years old, or miraculous events defying natural laws. These claims are not just unprovable, they are disproven repeatedly by archaeology, biology, physics, and geology. When evidence steps in to challenge faith-based claims, and those claims collapse under scrutiny, it shows that faith is more about belief without question than about objective truth. If there really is a God who impacts our world, one who answers prayers, performs miracles, and guides history, then that God should leave a clear, measurable, and consistent trail for us to find. Instead, what we see is silence, contradictions, and stories without evidence. Truth demands evidence, and when no evidence exists for God's existence or actions, a rational conclusion is that such a God does not exist. It's not just a lack of proof, it's a lack of any real, tangible proof at all. Sometimes the absence of evidence tells the most important story. Think for yourself, question everything, and keep searching for truth.